Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Offering our salutations to Ramana, who shines as the self in all beings, we begin today's satsang with a prayer that will be chanted by Srimati Sapna Ganesh, that will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam by Ujwal Jagadeesh.
दक्षिणामूर्तिसारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमां रमणाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये आङ्गिकं भुवनं यस्य वाचिकं सर्ववाङ्मयम् आहार्यं चन्द्रतारादि तं नमः सात्विकं शिवम् ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय. नमो Ramana to everyone.
एकमक्षरं हृदि निरन्तरं भासते स्वयं लिख्यते कथम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति. हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्. देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्ततपेतसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः. कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्टात्मनिष्ठात्मना सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं. सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं. Namo Ramana. We continue the satsang with the chanting of a few verses from Upadesa Saram. This will be done by Kumari Uma Sripathy.
नमो रमण. कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परम् कर्म तज्जडम् कृतिमहोदधौ पतनकारणम् फलमशाश्वतम् गतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितम् नेच्छया कृतम् चित्तशोधकम् मुक्तिसाधकम् कायवाग्मना कार्यमुत्तमम् పూజనం జపశ్చింతనం క్రమాత్ జగతైషధీ యుక్త సేవనం అష్టమూర్తి బృహద్ దేవ పూజనం ఉత్తమస్తవాద్ ఉచ్చమందత చిత్తజం జప ధ్యానముత్తమం ఆజ్యధారయా శ్రోతసా సమం సరళ చింతనం విరళతః పరం వేద భావనా సోహమిత్యసౌ భావనా విదా పావనీ మతా భావశూన్య సత్ భావసుస్థితి భావనా బలాద్ భక్తిరుత్తమా హృత్స్థలే మనా స్వస్థతా క్రియా భక్తి యోగ బోధాశ్చ నిశ్చితం. నమో రమణ.
Namo Ramana. In the next part of the satsang, we have a few Ramananjali songs offered to Bhagavan. The offerings will start with an offering by Srimati V. Radha. That will be followed by Dr. Prathibha Sundaresh and followed by Savitri Krishnan and Jaisriram Krishnan. We have the Ramananjali offerings.
Namo Ramana to all. Today I will be singing a song written by Sri Sadhu Swami, and the Telugu translation is by Sri J.H.B. Acharya, and the music is by Sri H.K. Narayana. జ్ఞానం ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. జ్ఞానం ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. దేవావళి వేదావళి వెదకినా దొరకని, దేవావళి వేదావళి వెదకినా దొరకని దేవుడీవు శ్రీరమణ జపతపములకు చిక్కెదవా రమణ. జ్ఞాన ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. వేదులందు తిరుగుచున్న ఈ పామర జీవుని, వేదులందు తిరుగుచున్న ఈ పామర జీవుని ఉద్ధరించిన రమణ పట్టితి శ్రీపాదం, ఉద్ధరించిన రమణ పట్టితి శ్రీపాదం. దాటితి భవసాగరం జ్ఞానం ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. పూర్వ పుణ్యం కాదు నేటి తపము కాదు, పూర్వ పుణ్యం కాదు నేటి తపము కాదు. నీ కరుణామృతమే నను బ్రోచినది, నీ కరుణామృతమే నను బ్రోచినది. నాకిక జననం లేదు జ్ఞానం ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. తల్లి తండ్రి నీవేనయ్యా సద్గురు రమణ, తల్లి తండ్రి నీవేనయ్యా సద్గురు రమణ. ఆత్మ విచారం తెలిపి లోచూపు ఇచ్చితివి, ఆత్మ విచారం తెలిపి లోచూపు ఇచ్చితివి. నీలో బ్రోచితివి జ్ఞానం ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. జ్ఞానం ధ్యానం సాధనం ఒకటి లేని నాకు రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. రమణ ఎట్లు దొరకితివి కారణమేమో. ರಮಣ ಎಟ್ಟು ದೊರಕಿತಿವಿ ಕಾರಣವೇಮೋ. ನಮೋ ರಮಣ.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. This is a composition of Srimati Meenakshi Sundaram. She says, there is no parallel to Bhagavan Ramana, born to Sundara and Sundari, Alagammal, and who has realized the truth of who am I. I bow down to that Jnani, who is my father, mother, guru, and God. I take refuge at your feet, Ramana, Adhipati of Arunachala, to grant me freedom from this cycle of life and death. அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், என்னிரு கண்மணியாய் ரமணா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா. அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், என்னிரு கண்மணியாய் ரமணா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா. சுந்தரனுக்கினிய சுந்தரியின் தனைய, சுந்தரனே வெங்கடரமண துதித்தேன் அருளோங்கிட, சுந்தரனுக்கினிய சுந்தரியின் தனைய, சுந்தரனே வெங்கடரமண துதித்தேன் அருளோங்கிட, நான் என்னும் பொருளிது தான் என்னும் உண்மையை தான் அறிந்த மாதவா ரமணா, தானிணை இல்லாதவா, தானிணை இல்லாதவா. அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், என்னிரு கண்மணியாய் ரமணா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா. மரணாதி பந்த மர அருளாரமுதே உந்தன் சரணாம்புயமே கதியே அருணாச்சலாதிபதியே, மரணாதி பந்த மர அருளாரமுதே உந்தன் சரணாம்புயமே கதியே அருணாச்சலாதிபதியே, மோனமாமுனிநாத முக்தி பத பிரசாத மீனாட்சி சுந்தர கீதா, ரமணா மேயான போத மேயான போத. அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், என்னிரு கண்மணியாய் ரமணா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவாம். அன்னையாய் தந்தையாய் அருள் குரு தெய்வமாய், என்னிரு கண்மணியாய் ரமணா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா, மன்னுமென் உயிர் துணைவா. ஓம் நமோ பகவதே ஸ்ரீ ரமணாய.
ಗುರವೇ ತಾರಕಾರಗೆ ಗುರವೇ ತಾರಕಾರಗೆ ಗುರವೇ ತಾರಕಾರಗೆ ಗುರವೇ ತಾರಕಾರಗೆ ಪರದೇಶಿ ದೇವ ಧವಳೇ ನವಾಸ ಸಹ ಶಕಲೇನ ವೇಷಿತ ಕಟಿ ವಿಶೋಭಿನ ಪರದೇಶಿಕೇನ ಸರ್ವೇಶಧಾರಿಣ ಶಿಖಿವಾಹನೇನ गुरु जगद्भवे गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये अतीत गुणजालाय नैष्ठिक ब्रह्मचारिणे नमो माया मनुष्याय गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये गुरवे तारकारये गुरु रमणा शिव ನೀ ತೋರು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಲವ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ಶಿವ ನೀ ತೋರು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಲವ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಗಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನದಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಗಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನದಿ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಜನನ ಮರಣಗಳ ನಡುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಲಿನ್ಯ ಜಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಜನನ ಮರಣಗಳ ನಡುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಲಿನ್ಯ ಜಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನೊಂದು ಹೋಗಿಹುದು ನನ್ನ ಮನ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡೋ ದೀನವನ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ಶಿವ ನೀ ತೋರು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಲವ ಭಯಗೊಂಡ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಅಭಯವತ ಅಂತರಂಗದ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯತ ಭಯಗೊಂಡ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಅಭಯವತ ಅಂತರಂಗದ ಶುದ್ಧಿಯತ ಆಸೆಯ ಬಲೆಯ ಇರುಳದಿ ತೋಳಲಿಗ ಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಯೋತಿಯ ಬೆಳಗಿಸು ಅರುಣಾಚಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ ಪುನೀತನೇ ಅರುಣಾಚಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂದ ಪುನೀತನೇ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀ ನಡೆಸು ಗುರು ರಮಣ ಶಿವ ನೀ ತೋರು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಲವ ಗುರು ರಮಣ ಶಿವ ತೋರು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಲವ. ಓಂ ನಮೋ ಭಗವತೆ ಶ್ರೀ ರಮಣಾಯ.
Namo Ramana. In the next part of the satsang, we have a reading and sharing by Sri Nandakumarji.
Namo Ramana. In this, the book reading segment of our satsang, we have commenced the reading of the account of Michael James on Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam under the collection of articles compiled by our founder president Sri A.R. Natarajan commemorating the centenary of Muruganar under the title Ramana's Muruganar. So we continue our reading from Ramana's Muruganar. This account we revisit from the beginning, Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam by Michael James. When God incarnates himself on earth in the form of the Sadguru, he does not come alone. He brings with him highly mature souls, in answer to whose prayers he gives his true teachings to the world, and through whom he afterwards expounds and makes clear those teachings, using their mind, speech, and body as his pure instruments to instruct the world, both through words and example. Though such devotees come for the benefit of the world, their attention is never turned towards the world, but is ever turned towards God, who shines outside as the Sadguru and within as the Self. Among such rare, exemplary, and pure devotees, whom Sri Ramana Bhagavan, the Loka Mahaguru, brought with him to the world, the foremost are Sri Muruganar Swamigal and Sri Sadhuvam Swamigal. Those devotees who have had the good fortune of associating closely with Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam, or who have carefully gone through their writings, will have been left in no doubt that they are both instruments specially chosen by Sri Bhagavan for revealing, expounding, and exemplifying his teachings for the benefit of the world. Because both Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam have surrendered themselves completely to Sri Bhagavan and thereby merging themselves in him, they truly retain no individuality of their own, and thus they are not other than Sri Bhagavan himself. Hence, it is indeed Sri Bhagavan himself who acts through them, eliciting, recording, and expounding his own teachings. Knowing this truth, Sri Natanananda Swami, one of the foremost devotees of Sri Bhagavan, has sung in one of his prefatory verses to Guruvachaka Kovai Urai. Wise people who see the wondrous beauty of both these verses, recording Lord Ramana's sayings and this prose rendering of them by Sadhuvam Swamigal, will surely declare that Guruvachaka Kovai is that Lord himself who, as the renunciant and skillful Muruganar, has composed these verses, and who, as Sadhuvam, has rendered them into prose. Let me read that sentence again. Wise people who see the wondrous beauty both of these verses in Guruvachaka Kovai, recording Lord Ramana's sayings, and this prose rendering of them by Sadhuvam Swamigal, will surely declare that it is that Lord himself who, as the renunciant and skillful Muruganar, has composed these verses, and who, as Sadhuvam, has rendered them into prose. Thus, because of their egolessness, their complete loss of individuality, both Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam have become pure channels through which the Sadguru's grace can flow. While it has been the part of Sri Muruganar to elicit from Sri Bhagavan such works as Atma Vidya Kirtanam, Upadesa Undiya, and Ulladu Narpadu, and to record his oral teachings in a pure and undiluted form in the work Guruvachaka Kovai, it has been the part of Sadhuvam to expound and make clear the true import of those works in his simple, clear, and lucid Tamil commentaries, while it has been the part of Sri Muruganar to reveal to the world in works such as Sri Ramananjali Bodham the nature of the supreme experience which he had attained through the grace of Sri Bhagavan. It has been the part of Sri Sadhuvam to show the world in works such as Sri Ramana Sahasram, Sri Ramana Guru Varul Antadi, and Sri Ramana Varuha how to pray for such grace. Thus, it has been seen that the roles of Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam have been complementary, and that between them they have given to the world a vast and invaluable treasure of works, which cover the whole range of true spirituality and which will answer all the needs of the aspirants who come after them. Moreover, through the humble and self-effacing way of life lived by Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam, Sri Bhagavan has exemplified how a true devotee should live his life in this world, unattached to the world, unknown to the world, and uncaring for the appreciation and praise of the world, in the world, but not of the world. I'll read that again. Moreover, through the humble and self-effacing way of life lived by Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam, Sri Bhagavan has exemplified how a true devotee should live his life in this world, unattached to the world, unknown to the world, and uncaring for the appreciation and praise of the world, in the world, but not of the world. Thus, it is not only through their written works, but also through their exemplary way of living that Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam have taught us, the less mature devotees, how to follow the path of Sri Ramana. The intimate spiritual and literary friendship which existed between Sri Muruganar and Sri Sadhuvam was forged by Sri Bhagavan himself on the very first day in 1946 that Sri Sadhuvam came to him. On that day, Sri Sadhuvam sang before Sri Bhagavan the song Kuilodu Kural, which had spontaneously surged forth from his heart a few days earlier, and in which all his feelings of intense longing to see Sri Bhagavan were expressed in a most heart-melting manner. After hearing that song, Sri Bhagavan read through it carefully and asked Sri Sadhuvam to show it to Sri Muruganar. Thus started the deep and intimate friendship between the two great poet saints, which in course of time proved most fruitful. Through his association with Sri Muruganar, Sri Sadhuvam was able to learn many subtle points about classical Tamil grammar and prosody, to gain a deep insight into the terse and cryptic style of Tamil used by Sri Bhagavan and Sri Muruganar in their works, and also to perfect his own innate but untrained poetic genius. In return, Sri Sadhuvam did singular service to Sri Muruganar in helping him to finalize his verses and to preserve them for posterity. As Sri Muruganar used to say, Tavattukku oruvar, Tamilukku iruvar, one for tapas, two for Tamil. Because such a refined literary work can be done perfectly only when two equally accomplished poets assist each other. Because of his tireless and willing labor, his thorough knowledge of Sri Muruganar's style and subject, his own literary skill and profound and practical understanding of Sri Bhagavan's teachings, Sri Sadhuvam alone could render real assistance to Sri Muruganar in all his literary work. Knowing this, Sri Muruganar once said during his last days, if Sadhuvam is not entrusted with full responsibility for preserving and editing all my unpublished verses, then it will be better to bundle all of them together and to offer them into the Deepam fire on top of Arunachala, or drown them into the Bay of Bengal. Perhaps the greatest fruit of their deep friendship and close literary association between these two great poet saints is the massive work Sri Ramananjali Bodham, consisting of about 17,000 verses composed by Sri Muruganar during the last 20 years of his bodily lifetime. Over the many years of their close association, Sri Sadhuvam dedicated himself wholeheartedly to the task of fair copying, cataloging, classifying, and editing these verses, and he did much to convince the other devotees of the great spiritual value of this vast collection of verses, and to enkindle in the mind of Professor K. Swaminathan a firm determination to arrange somehow or the other to have them all printed in their entirety. The result of his efforts is now is that now 6 volumes of Sri Ramana Jnana Bodham have been published by Sri Ramanacentre, New Delhi, and the remaining 3 volumes will also be published by them in due course, if such is the will of Sri Bhagavan. If it were not for the dedicated efforts made by Sri Sadhu Om, it is doubtful how much, if any at all, of this priceless collection of Sri Muruganar's poetic outpourings would have survived to be enjoyed by the future generations of Ramana Bhaktas. The great love and high regard which Sri Sadhu Om had for Sri Muruganar can clearly be seen in all his Tamil prose writings about Muruganar, selections from which have been compiled, translated, and included in this book under the title Sri Muruganar, the Right Hand of Bhagavan. But perhaps his love can be found expressed most poignantly in 2 verses which surged in his heart during the night after Sri Muruganar left his physical body. In the first verse, addressing the contemporary world which had failed to understand the greatness of Sri Muruganar, he sang, the cuckoo who sang in your midst for 83 years with a sweet voice of cultured, spiritual, ancient Tamil, has gone, flying off into the great space of Sri Ramana, the exalted treasure of tapas with which the world has been blessed. What will you do now? He's asking the devotees who have, or the world that has not cared much for Muruganar. The cuckoo who sang in your midst for 83 years with a sweet voice of cultured, spiritual, and ancient Tamil has gone, flying off into the great space of Sri Ramana, the exalted treasure of tapas with which the world has been blessed. What will you do now with these things, with these teachings that Muruganar has brought to us? In the second verse, addressing and consoling those Ramana Bhaktas who had true love for Sri Muruganar, he sang, does Muruganar mean the 4-cubit body? O you who have love for Muruganar, who is Muruganar? Know that Muruganar is only the eye of self-knowledge given by Annamalai Ramana, the ancient Siva. In the second verse, addressing and consoling those Ramana Bhaktas who had true love for Sri Muruganar, he sang, does Muruganar mean the 4-cubit body? O you who have love for Muruganar, who is Muruganar? Know that Muruganar is only the eye of self-knowledge given by Annamalai Ramana, the ancient Siva. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramana.
Namo Ramana. We go into the session of self-enquiry, which will be led by Sri Dileep Simha ji.
Namo Ramana. Dhyayet Sharada Chandra Sundaramukam Tamraravinde Bhaktabhishtabara Bhayapradakaram Kaupinamatrojvalam Svatmanandarasanubhuti vivasham Sarvanavadyangakam Srimandam Shri Ramaneshwaram Guruvaram Yogasanam Dhyasitam Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram Dhyayet Shri Ramaneshwaram हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् यहमहमिति साक्षातात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामच्युतव पवनचलनरोधा आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्. In this self-inquiry session, we'll commence it by reading and meditating on Bhagavan's Upadesham. I'll be reading his Upadesham from the book Guru Vachaka Kovai, from the chapter Experience of the Truth. The topic is formlessness. Verse 1102. The joyous sport of the beautiful raised foot of Nataraja, which dances, intimately caressing his devotees in the heart, enquiring about their welfare, is an uncommon and amazing wonder, like the marriage of the moon and the sun. I repeat, the joyous sport of the beautiful raised foot of Nataraja, which dances intimately, caressing his devotees in the heart, enquiring about their welfare, is an uncommon and amazing wonder, like the marriage of the moon and the sun. Here, we have been told about the Yoga Kshema, the nature of how Bhagavan or God, when we turn towards Him, surrender to Him, and He becomes everything, how the Yoga Kshema is taken care. It is very uncommon, they say, and it is also an amazing wonder, because many things from the world, from the mind, many things may rise, continue to still rise in those people as obstacles. But that graceful feet of the Lord, which alone is ruling in their hearts, takes care of everything, says Bhagavan here. Takes care of the yoga, making sure that they are ever one with Him, and the kshema, the welfare. So here, Bhagavan is saying that is what we get when we inquire and get to the root of the I. What do we call as I? When you really inquire, truly inquire, who am I? What we acquire or what we find is that feet of the Lord with which we become one. And not only that, all our day-to-day things will be further taken care by the grace of the Lord in some unexplainable, amazing ways, says Bhagavan here. With the great grace of Bhagavan, with which alone we have come to this most direct path. For the next 10 minutes, no matter how many thoughts come, no matter what is the nature of those thoughts, we should diligently inquire, to whom is this? And therefore the answer will be for me. And when we inquire, who am I? When we turn the attention from the idea of I or a concept of I to what do I really refer to as I through the inquiry, the grace takes us to the feet of the Lord, or the grace and the feet of the Lord are none other than the same, are both the same. And it takes us to there. And with repeated practice, Bhagavan assures that the oneness, which is so natural, and the Yoga Kshema, which too is quite natural, will be recognized by us, if we diligently practice the self-enquiry, says Bhagavan. With his abundant grace, let us practice Atma Vichara for the next 10 minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramana. Ramana.
Namo Ramana. Now we have a sharing by Sri Venkatesh Deshpande ji.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jnanamulam Gurum Murti, Pujamulam Gurorpadam, Mantramulam Gurorvakyam, Mokshamulam Gurokripaha, Mokshamulam Gurokripaha. Moramna. We're doing a Manana and Atma Bodha, and the last satsang we did Manana on verse number 51. We'll do a quick recap of that. Having relinquished the attachment to transitory external joys, the enlightened one, contented with the bliss of the Atman, shines alone inwardly like a light placed in a jar. A contrast is drawn here between ephemeral joys of the world and the perennial bliss of realization. Also, an indication is given as to the means of experiencing that supreme bliss. With an extrovert mind, you seek your pleasures in the sense objects. Religion does not prohibit you from enjoying these objects. It only cautions you not to crave for or develop a clinging attachment to the fleeting joys arising out of your contact with the sense objects of the world. It does not entail renunciation of the pleasures. It forbids an uncontrollable mental yearning for such an enjoyment. It is natural for the body to have passions for the world of objects. The wise do not allow themselves to be swayed by these passions by maintaining control over them. But when the wise one, however, shifts the focus of his attention from his actions, emotions, and thoughts to the Atman within in all his experiences in life. I'll read this, very important. The wise one, however, shifts the focus of his attention from his actions, emotions, and thoughts to the Atman within in all his experiences in life. At each experience, he remembers and contemplates on the divine self, which enables him to gain that experience. Today we'll be doing Manana on verse number 52, and I request Sapna to kindly chant the verses for us.
Namo Ramana. उपदिष्टोऽपि तद्धर्मैः अलिप्तो व्योमवन्मुनिः सर्वविन्मूढवत् तिष्ठेत् असक्तो वायुवच्चरेत्
उपादिष्टोऽपि तद्धर्मैः अलिप्तो व्योमवन्मुनिः सर्वविन्मूढवत्तिष्ठेत् असक्तो वायुवच्चरेत्. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sapna. Though associated with the equipments, the all-knowing sage is untainted by their traits like the sky. He remains like a dunce and moves about unattached like the wind. A self-realized person crosses the limitations of the gross, subtle and causal bodies and becomes one with the all-pervading reality. Yet when he functions in the world with his material equipments, he appears to be conditioned by them. This is not so. He is unaffected by his associations with them. The three metaphors herein describe his state of perfection vis-a-vis the three conditioning bodies. The enlightened sage has no vasanas of his own. Consequently, there are no desires and actions emanating from him. He continues to live through environmental vasanas. His activities are expressions of the total will functioning through the empty equipment. He remains ever rooted in the transcendental experience of the self. He is not interested in nor affected by such activities. He is untainted like the sky. The sky accommodates everything but is unaffected by anything that happens to it. So is the sage, unaffected by the vasanas expressing through him. This suggests a reference to the causal body. The second comparison is to a dunce. A dunce is a mentally unsound person. He is, in a way, detached from the affairs of the world. He has neither worries of the past nor anxieties of the future. This aspect is common to both. A sage lives fulfilled in the present, completely detached from the persecutions of the past and the expectations of the future. Herein is a reference to the subtle body. The third comparison is to the wind. Breeze is refreshing, while stagnant air is stale and stuffy. Living creatures thrive and blossom where there is a free flow of wind. So are the people of the world regenerated with fresh vigor and life in the presence of a realized soul. Another aspect of comparison is the independent movement of the wind. Wind is drawn from one place to another by the difference in atmospheric pressure. Similarly, a sage has no desires of his own, not even to bring about a spiritual renaissance. He is only drawn to people having an earnest desire for spiritual unfoldment. If he is not wanted, he goes another way, like the wind takes a different direction when there is an obstacle in its course. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramananjali.
Namo Ramana. In this part of the satsang, we have been meditating on the verses of Ramanacentre written by Kavyakanta Vasishta Ganapati Muni, and they have been compiled and given to us by Bhagavan Ramana himself. And we are meditating on the last verse, that is the 40th verse of these 40 verses in praise of Ramanacentre. Here Ganapati Muni summarizes all the qualities of Ramana, and he reminds us why has Ramana come into our lives to make us inspired, to be as an example of how to lead a happy life. This is what he writes in this verse. Shantirnitantamadika paramasya shakti vairagyamadbhutatamam karunatu sandra jnanam nirastakuhanam maduram cha vrittam drenam nidarsanamayam ramano maharshi Drenam nidarsanamayam Ramano Maharshi Ramanam Gurum Namami Ramanam Gurum Namami Apurva Shanti Aparimita Shakti Adbhuta Virakti Aghada Karuna ಕಪಟವಿಲ್ಲದ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಮಧುರ ನಡತೆಯೂ ಆದರ್ಶರಿವರು ಮನುಜರಿಗೆ ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ ರಮಣ ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ನಮನ. Ramana is the embodiment of the supreme omnipresence, omniscient and omnipotent God. He is God himself, Bhagavan himself, who has come in the human form. He is Sarva Shakta. Yet he appears to us as so human. The devotee says he alone is human. We are all just leading a life like animals. We are eating, sleeping, and we are doing our work and finding this food and leading a life. And we are passing our time like this without understanding the true purpose of donning a human body. And Ramana is the one who alone is the human because he has reached that goal of realizing our true nature as divinity. So he is an example for us. And although he is full of power, he is full of peace. And his dispassion is unequaled. He is not attached to anything. At the same time, his karuna is inexplicable. He loves every little atom. He says that even one small grain of rice which has fallen down in the kitchen, Ramana used to pick it up, wipe it in his towel and put it back to that same container which used to have that grain. Such was his love. So Vishwanatha Swami, he told Vishwanatha, you should see the glory of the God. You should see the glory of the Supreme in even every speck of a dust. And you should at the same time be ready to brush away the whole world like a speck of a dust. So we should be able to do both. So Bhagavan was dispassionate. At the same time, he was all enveloping love. And his jnana is without any pretense. What he experienced, the supreme truth, he shared it with all comers. There was no filters, there was no partiality. Oh, they may not understand or he may not understand. His teaching was for everyone. And when I talk about there is no kapatam, there is no pretense. I heard a beautiful story from a kathakar in North India, a little boy who was sharing the story, and he told that the Rakshasas in the court of Ravana, they all told Ravana, oh Ravana, oh Maharaja, you have magical powers. You are struggling to get the Sita to agree to be your Rani. We will give you an idea. Why don't you change your form to Rama? Why don't you become like Rama? And why don't you approach? Then Sita will surely come and she will listen to what you are telling and listen to your demands. And Ravana told, do you think I have not tried this? When I become Rama, then I will, all my thoughts also will become like Rama. And what does Rama do? Rama never sees a wife of another person. He will not desire for any other woman other than his own wife. So as soon as I become like Rama, I also stop having the desire for Sita. So this technique is not working, says Ravana. So such is that the purity of Ramana, that he says, if you become Ramana, then you will have no pretense. You will become pure like him. So Ramana is an example for us to lead a happy life. Ramana, time and again, he reminds us, why are we running away behind objects? We think that the happiness lies in all those objects. And if we become Ramana, and if we ask ourselves, what would Ramana do if he has a desire to attain something? Then we remind ourselves, Ramana would say that the happiness does not lie in the object. The happiness lies within ourselves, because our own true nature is natural happiness, which is eternal, which does not come and go, which is not connected or attached to the possession or losing an object, but it is ever present. If we are getting irritated by a person, what would Ramana do? Ramana would understand that everyone is that one power. For a jnani, there is no others. So if I am thinking there is somebody other who is disturbing me, it is only my projection. So Ramana says, the world rises when the mind rises. When the mind subsides, the world also subsides. So from where is all this irritation and all this fear coming from? It is only coming from my own projection of the mind. When the mind is rising, I see the world with all these differences and all these conflicts. But when I turn within and find out what is this mind, I realize there is nothing called a mind. Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam. And this is the direct path, marga arjavat. All these thoughts, vrittayastva aham vritti mashritaha. All thoughts are dependent on the aham vritti. I thought. So, vrittayastvaham vrittimashritaha vrittayo mano vidyaham mana. So, our mind is only a bundle of thoughts, or it's a flow of thoughts. So, what should be done? Aham ayam kuto bhavati. From where does this I arise from? From where does this I thought arise from? If we inquire and get back to our own true nature, then the false I, it is completely destroyed. Ahami nasha bhaji. And the true I will shine forth as aham taya. It shines forth as the parama purna sat. It reminds us that we are already full. We don't have to seek for anything from outside. We are already full is what we realize. And when we become Ramana, we understand that we are already full. We could see that in Ramana's life, when the devotees used to beg for alms and get only rice. They didn't even have any sambar or curds to have with. So Ramana used to say, mix it with some hot water and make it into a gruel and give one cup for all the devotees who are assembled there. And that's what done. And when T.K. Sundaresh told Bhagavan, this gruel is very, very tasteless. Can we ask for some salt when we go for Bhiksha? Ramana immediately became stern and turned towards T.K. Sundaresh and told, today you want salt. Tomorrow you will want some parp, that is the bele. Then the next day you want some jaggery. And next you want payasam. So there is no end for our desires. So if we think that we are not full, we are looking outside, there is no fullness, cannot never be attained outside. The only way to attain fullness is to turn within and to find our own true nature, says Bhagavan. And he was ever abiding in that true nature. He was ever abiding in the self. And when we think of one person who is ever abiding in the self, who does not see any differences, who does not have any others, we may feel that he may be like a rock. But when we see Bhagavan's life, we understand that he was never a rock. He was full of joy when the children used to climb up the Arunachala hill and be with him in the Virupaksha cave, and he used to play with the children. He used to play the doll game. He used to have running races for the children, and even he gave a prize to Chellammal, who won a prize in the race. So we see that how fantastic was Ramana's life. And when monkeys used to follow the devotees who have brought a bunch of bananas, they used to follow the devotees, and devotees used to have a big stick and not allow the monkeys to take their share. But as soon as they offered it to Bhagavan and was doing the prostrating to Bhagavan, the monkeys used to quickly come and take the fruits and run away, and Bhagavan used to laugh heartily with clapping his hands. And the devotees used to wonder, Bhagavan, we brought all the fruits, bananas for you. Why are you laughing and clapping your hands that the monkeys have taken? Then Bhagavan tells the devotees that they have only taken their share. If you had given their share outside itself near the gate, they would have followed you till the hall. So Bhagavan used to enjoy, have a hearty laugh. And we have instances with Major Chadwick, where Bhagavan and Major Chadwick were like friends. And Bhagavan's one day he noticed that the panka was moving, the fan which was there in the hall was moving by itself. And he wondered, how is it the panka is moving by itself? And Chadwick, who was hiding behind the couch and he was moving the panka, he appeared and he revealed himself that he was there, and Bhagavan and Chadwick had a hearty laugh. So when we see this, he is an example of ever abiding in the self, but yet being full of joy. Did not have any sorrow. When Echammal, she came, Echammal's life itself was full of sorrow. She had lost her husband and children at a very, very young age, and she had gone around the whole of India in pilgrimage, not finding peace. At last, she came to Bhagavan and find some solace in his presence, and she decided to serve Bhagavan all her life. So she started staying in Tiruvannamalai, cooking food every day to Bhagavan and his devotees. And she adopted a little girl, Chellammal, and was taking care of her. And she got her married and sent her to her husband's house. And one day, she got a telegram saying Chellammal has expired, giving birth to the child. And Echammal had been crying for long years. And now she didn't even have to say anything. She simply took that telegram and handed it over to Bhagavan. And Bhagavan just looked at the telegram, and there were tears flowing from Ramana and Echammal. And when I listened to this story, Bhagavan was so much full of, we may wonder, we speak about the death is only for the body, and Bhagavan faced the death and he won over the death, and he preached that there is no body at all, there is nothing to die, we are the deathless spirit. All this, we listen to it and we try to practice it, but at the time of losing a dear one, all these Vedanta does not make sense. We feel, why is this happening like this? Why is my dear one away from us? So this thought fills our mind. So Bhagavan did not tell anything to Echammal. In that moment of silence, in that moment of sharing the tears and sorrow, that sorrow melted away, and Echammal found solace. So such is the life of Bhagavan Ramana. He was one with everyone. And when the devotees came and complained, he always took the side of those who they were complaining on. So a lady who used to come and say, I had a nice servant, attendant, and she took all my money and jewelry and she ran away. And Bhagavan took the side of that maid, and she told, because of your money, you lost a good attendant. So he was like that. He was full of life. There was nothing to complain about. He was ever full, and he is an example for us. And how was he able to do all these things? Because he was ever abiding in the self. And he tells that it is possible for each one of us to get back to our own true nature. Self-realization is our birthright, says Bhagavan Ramana. And for the true disciple, the work is within. You cannot change the world, but you can only change yourself. And what is the only change that you can do? You can only have the free will to turn within and abide as the self. And this is what he's been showing us every moment. And he keeps reminding us in every satsanga, every moment of our lives. If we are open to his teaching, every moment he is reminding us to get back to our own true nature, which is ever full. So Ramana is the Adarsha for all of us. So let us all hold on to Ramana as our ideal and continue our sadhana with great love, because he says the Guru is within and he is ever guiding us. If we hold on to that Guru Ramana who is shining within each one of us, he will show us the right path and he will make us abide in that eternal truth. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We have the chanting of a few verses of Arunachala Aksharamanamalai by Srimati V. Radha.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. அருணாச்சலமென அகமே நினைப்பவர் அகத்தை வேறறுப்பாய் அருணாச்சலா. அழகு சுந்தரம் போலகமும் நீயும் முற்று அபிநமாயிருப்போம் அருணாச்சலாம். அகம்பூகும் தீத்துன் அககுஹ சிரையாய் அமர்வித்ததென் கொல் அருணாச்சலாம். ஆரெக்காவென்னை ஆடனை அகற்றிடில் அக்கிலம் பழித்திடும் அருணாச்சலா. இப்பழி தப்புன ஏ நினைப்பித்தாயினி யார் விடுவார் அருணாச்சலாம். ஈன்றிடும் மன்னையர் பெரிதருள் புரிவோய் இதுவோ உனதருள் அருணாச்சலா. உனையே மாற்றி ஓடாதுள்ளத்தின் மேல் உறுதியாயிருப்பாய் அருணாச்சலா. ஊர் சுற்றுளம்பிடாதுன்னை கண்டடங்கிட உன்னழகை காட்டருணாச்சலா. என்னை அழித்திப்போதென்னை கலவாவிடில் இதுவோ ஆண்மை அருணாச்சலா. ஏன் இந்த உறக்கம் என்னை பிறர் இழுக்க இது உனக்கழகோ அருணாச்சலா. ஐம்புல கள்வர் அகத்தினில் புகும்போது அகத்தில் நீ இல்லையோ அருணாச்சலா. ஒருவனம் உன்னை ஒழித்தவர் வருவார் உன் சூதே இது அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ, அருணாச்சல சிவ, அருணாச்சல சிவ, 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 அருணாச்சலா. अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल शिव अरुणाचल अरुणाचलं வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி. நமோ ரமணா.
Namo Ramana. We conclude today's satsang with Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan at Sri Dileep Simha sir's altar, and the chanting of the Ashtottara will be done by Vaibhavji and Prarthana, followed by Uma Sripathy. Then we'll have the Arati song by Dr. Prathibha Sundaresh.
नमो रमणा. भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितं श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्मि मात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि. ॐ महाते नमः शेन जाताय नमः. ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः. ॐ गुरवे नमः. ॐ अखण्डसंविदाकाराय नमः. ॐ महौजसे नमः. ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः. ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः. ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः. ॐ पराशरतुलोत्तंसाय नमः. ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः. ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः. ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः. ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः. ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः. ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले विद्योदयाय नमः. ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः. ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः. ॐ तीव्राय नमः. ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः. ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः. ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः. ॐ तपोमयाय नमः. ॐ उदासीनाय नमः. ॐ महायोगिने नमः. ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः. ॐ कुशाग्रधिये नमः. ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः. ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः. ॐ सवित्रे नमः. ॐ स्थिराय नमः. ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः. ॐ फुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः. ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः. ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः. ॐ शोणिताखिलविभ्रमाय नमः. ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः. ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः. ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः. ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः. ॐ विराजदचलाकृतये नमः. ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः. ॐ पूर्णाय नमः. ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः. ॐ गम्भीराय नमः. ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः. ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः. ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः. ॐ दक्षिणास्य निधाय नमः. ॐ धीराय नमः. ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः. ॐ स्वराजे नमः. ॐ महर्षये नमः. ॐ भगवते नमः. ॐ ईद्याय नमः.
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः. ॐ विमलाय नमः. ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः. ॐ आप्ताय नमः. ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः. ॐ समदृशे नमः. ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः. ॐ सत्याय नमः. ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः. ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः. ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः. ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः. ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः. ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलरुद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्न संशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ हृच्चान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणात्मन्दमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसाराणवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः।
ॐ श्री रमण भगवते नमः। श्री रमणाष्टोत्तरशतना पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्या जनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः हृन्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे।
नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीवहित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संगिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शी नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावर्ण नमो महर्षि नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತೆ ಅದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡುತ್ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ
ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೋಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿದು ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಗಿಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರ್ಣ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की जय।